step in our isolating pathogens and soil sample experiment begins with sterilizing the work surface with a 10% bleach solution. The purpose for this is that we don't want any outside contaminants to affect the result. And we'll wait 10 or 15 minutes to let this dry, and then we'll sterilize it again with an ethanol solution.
Added the bleach first is because fungi actually are really hard to kill. They have really strong cell walls, and it takes time to break it down. And that's one of the reasons why fungi are so persistent in the environment. So we add the bleach first and allow 10 minutes for the bleach to act on the surface to give it time to actually break those walls down. And then once we finish that, then we'll follow with ethanol. It's just another way of sterilizing and making sure that we are working in a clean, sterile environment.
Okay guys, so we have sterilized our work surface with a 10% bleach solution. We've let it set for 10 minutes, and now we're ready to do the final sterilization with ethanol. Again, making sure that we don't have any outside contaminants that will affect our observations. It's important to wear gloves for this process for a couple of reasons. We don't want to contaminate our work surface, and we don't want the chemicals to affect our skin. Okay, now we have a sterile work space, and we're ready to begin.
Using these small jars, they're 50 milliliter jars made out of plastic today for our experiment. You do not have to use this exact size. They can also be glass if that's what you have readily available. You do need to make sure that all the jars are the same size. We have sterilized these with bleach and ethanol, just like we sterilized our workspace. In the lab, they also sterilize them with ultraviolet radiation. If you don't have any access to that, that's okay. Use bleach and ethanol. You need to make sure that there are some holes poked in the top for breathing purposes, able to circulate oxygen throughout the container. Alright guys, here I have sifters that we are going to be using to homogenize our soil sample, which means that we are basically removing any organic matter that is not soil. We're removing rocks, twigs, leaves. We just want to get pure soil. And what I'm doing with these sifters is I'm spraying them down with some ethanol solution, and I'm taking a paper towel and I'm wiping all of that solution in. The reason we are doing this is because we need everything sterilized. We are trying to isolate a pathogen that is in our soil sample, and the only way we can know that it is from our soil sample is if we know that everything was sterilized and we've eliminated every other variable. So I'm going to wipe it down with a wet paper towel, and then go back through and wipe it down with a dry paper towel. And then I'm going to give it some time to dry. With the drying time, remember to do that with your jars as well. So when you cleaned it with bleach solution, it's going to need to be completely dry before you go back and clean it with the ethanol solution. And the reason for that is because the ethanol and bleach are very powerful with killing fungi and bacteria. And if it's still in the container, it can affect the soil sample and kill fungi and bacteria. That's what we're trying to isolate.
We're about ready to set up our soil samples to start the baking process. Before we do that, we're going to label our jars to make sure that they coincide with our samples. So what I have here is one of the samples that we collected from an urban site. And here I have a jar that's labeled U for urban, 1 indicating the number on our sample bag, So A is the first sample, ground. It's very important that you think ahead about how you want to label your jars, because down the road when you're ready to analyze your data, it will save you a huge headache if you have a tool that makes sense to you, gives you information. I also included the date that we started the baiting, because you want to be consistent with how long you keep the milligrams in the soil sample. Just to keep things consistent, I'm just going to take 3 big shovelfuls.
What are you all looking for in the dirt?
We are looking for fungal soil, fungal insect pathogens that live in the soil, and so we are interested in looking at number one, identifying the species of fungi that are living with these ants, and then we're also interested in getting a sense of the community structure. Then we're going to compare that to the immune function of these ants and see if there's some relationship between where we find them, either like in urban sites compared to forest sites.
Okay, so what you just saw was some footage of us collecting a soil sample on the roof of the Museum of Natural Science. So when you get a soil sample, what you want to do is have these Ziploc bags pre-labeled, and I'm going to read to you how they are labeled. This one says 3 scoops, North Carolina State University Brickyard soil sample. It has the date and it says 1 of 4. So you want to make sure that you're very thorough in your labeling. The more the merrier. You can't over-label. Then once you've collected the soil samples, you want to put it in a larger bag, once again labeled, and put them immediately into the refrigerator until you're ready to sort your soil samples.
We have all of our sample jars labeled and dated. We're ready to begin sifting our soil samples.
In sifting our soil samples, we have already re-sanitized our hands and we've sterilized our entire roof area again. We decided to start with the urban area soil samples first, and we're going to go ahead and pour the entire bag into our soil sifters. We need to make sure that there are no large pieces that are going to get in the way. So if you can see, we want to pull out any large twigs or rocks or roots, anything that is not going to go through the actual metal sifter. We are not going to force the dirt through the holes. We are just going to gently encourage all of our dirt pieces. I was like, what else? All right, here is our completed soil sample. We're going to use a sterilized plastic spoon to scoop our dirt samples into our 50 milliliter jars. We're going to fill up all the way to the 50 milliliter line so that we ensure that we have enough sample.
We have all of our samples sifted and placed in our sample jars. And what you can see here are different amounts of sample we have for each one. Sometimes science happens this way. These are full jars, full sample jars that we have, 50 milliliters. And sometimes when we're collecting samples, we get samples with more rocks or more organic debris in it, and we don't get as much soil as we'd like to sample. We've got a couple of options here. First, I want to show you what a good sample looks like and then what a not good sample looks like. So if you can show them this is a 50 milliliter sample. It's going to give us a good indication of the soil consistency in that area. This, on the other hand, is a very small sample, which is not going to give us the nice, rich data that we're looking for. So we got a couple of options here. We can use the samples that we have and get a full picture as we can, or to supplement, we could go out and take additional soil samples to get a broader look at what's going on in this area.
Alright guys, so now we're at the point where we're going to start baiting our soil with mealworms. So what we're going to start off with is our forceps, and we're going to dip them in 95% ethanol. And we are going to then light our forceps using our alcohol lamp. So we're just going to go ahead and dip them in there. And we'll let that burn off on its own, and then we're going to wait about 15 seconds because the forceps are hot after lighting them. So after 15 seconds, what I'm going to do is pick out 3 live mealworms. So you can actually put these down if you're paying attention. Just remember they're hot and you don't want to knock them over. And I am going to open our soil sample. Set that down. In about 15 seconds. So I'm going to look through the mealworms and I want to pick out 3 live moving mealworms. And I'm going to just put him on top of my soil sample. There's 1. Two. And 3. So once I have the 3 mealworms in there, I can squirt just a little bit of distilled water. We know that this is sterile distilled water, and so we're going to keep it in there, just coating the soil. Put the cap back on, and we are going to gently mix it up so that our mealworms are getting into our soil sample. You don't want them to stick to the top. Get them evenly distributed. And then we're going to keep going.
Okay, so we have finished bathing each of our jars with 3 mealworms, 3 live mealworms, and now we're going to put them in our makeshift container. And the main thing we're doing for this purpose is we're trying to maintain a consistent thermal environment. So the fungi should be able to grow fine at room temperature, which is about 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. And so what we want to do, you can use a cardboard box, you can use just your regular Tupperware bin, and you can buy from the store. Anything that you can kind of close, seal off, and tuck away in a fashion where it's out of your way. So what we're going to do, we're just going to take each of our jars and just add them to our incubator. This incubator is still precious and it's helpful work to see you demonstrating. Yeah. Again after 1 week. Check to see if we have any dead mealworms, and then add a little bit more water if we see that our samples are dry. And you can decide based on your schedule how long you want to run this experiment. Typically, researchers run this for up to 3 weeks